why am I doing this if I'm not an expert? It's actually thanks to one John Nelson, who before COVID went out on a walk with John, and he said, y'all should go out and lead a walk. I was like, John, we don't know anything about these plants. And he said, that's okay. It really is, though. You don't have to be an expert to have this conversation and share what you know, share what you're passionate about. So that's why I'm here doing this. Besides the fact that Bailey's my husband or my wife, and I couldn't get out of this. So another picture here. This is August 19th. We're obviously going to talk about monarchs here today, right? Because that's why we're doing all this. White flowers here, fairly narrow leaves. August 19th. Anybody want to take a guess on this one? No? What's that? No, incarnate is going to be a little pink, a little bit pinker. I just gave you a hint for probably the next one. Sorry. This is perennis. This is aquatic milkweed. This is one that I do grow. This is one that I do sell at the sales. And as soon as I tell people what the common name is, they say, I don't have a place for that. You do have a place for it. It's actually a great milkweed for a shady area, but it does not have to be in the water. But I tell you, if you go to Congaree National Park at the right time of year, you will see this all over the place. This is one that you can see in the wild in great numbers. So aquatic milkweed, it's a great one. Don't let the common name scare you away. It's a fantastic milkweed, and it's actually partially evergreen. The stems don't completely die back to the ground. It's a little bit different than the other Asclepias species that we have. Okay, so wild milkweed. The first three. While we're here, right? Monarchs. This is a Doug Tallamy thing, right? If you put the native plants out there, the insects that benefit from it will show up. They will, and I'm not going to promise you, but raise your hand if you have milkweed in your yard and you've seen a monarch in some shape, form, or fashion, caterpillar, or whatever. See, it works. I mean, putting milkweed out there actually works. And what makes monarchs so neat is they're migratory, right? So you're helping out with that migratory process. Our resident butterflies, this is a lot easier for them, but our migrants only have a certain amount of time where they have to locate and reproduce and do that. So it's neat to be a part of that. So obviously monarch. Milkweed tussocks. Has anybody ever seen milkweed tussock moths on their milkweed? They're the cutest damn things you've ever seen. Look at this guy. I mean, it looks like a Scotty dog that kind of looks like that, except they have a little bit of orange. And that's another thing. Most of the insects that you'll see on Asclepias are unique to Asclepias, but they all seem to have an orange, some sort of aspect orange. Of course, monarchs don't until they become butterflies. Caterpillars don't, but it's really neat. You'll start to see new orange insects around your milkweed. So flowers, we're looking at that. I mean, they're amazing flowers on all the milkweeds, basically. Insects, hummingbirds also love the milkweed. So if for no other reason, do it for your hummingbirds. I'm a bird guy, so I love that part of it. This last part is another Doug Tallamy thing. I know I'm probably going to say his name several more times, but grow plants that are meant to be eaten. Asclepias is meant to be eaten. We grow it so it can be eaten. Okay, so if you're looking for a plant that's going to look great and never be eaten, expand your mind, okay? And don't plant milkweed, because that's the whole point. I've had people come to me and say, hey, my milkweed's getting eaten. And I say, hooray, it's being eaten. That's why you put it there. And they're like, what should I do? leave it, enjoy it, visit it every day and watch the magic that happens. So I'm sorry you can't see this. This is one of the worst and best pictures I've ever taken in my life. Okay, at the same time. So like I say, I wish you could see it better. But it basically shows in one picture, and I did not modify this picture. It shows every stage of the process, reproduction process of our monarch. So October 6th, another thing that I'm always trying to get into people's ears is they're trying to run away from me at a sale, is Labor Day. It's different. Some people see monarchs in spring, and that's great. But for the most part, at our house, Labor Day is the day that you start looking for the monarchs. Okay, so the end of August. So you can see beginning of October, 5 weeks later from Labor Day. This is kind of what we're seeing here. So you can see here's our caterpillar. And Bailey and I's term is jade up, because they attach from their rear end and they form a J. And what they'll do is they'll split their skin and they'll turn into this with the little green thing here. They'll be in that state for 10 to 14 days, and then it goes clear. And when it goes clear, that means they're coming out that day. And so this monarch has just came out that morning. You can see it hanging on to what was its chrysalis, and then here's the empty one here. So in that one picture, you can see all of the various stages of that. Pretty cool, huh? Okay, why is native important? Do I need to explain to everybody why native is important, or do y'all want to just skip this slide and go on? All right, so let's go through it. So there are some milkweeds out there that are non-native. Everybody knows about those, right? At least one. This one at the top, and we'll see a picture of it in a second, because I'm not innocent. Okay, tropical milkweed is actually what set me on my native plant journey. I know that it's not good stuff now, at least in this company, it's not good stuff, but it does work on the monarchs. So, so let's talk about it for a second. Asclepias curassavica, I think I'm saying that one right. I did not consult with NC State on that one, but tropical milkweed, native to the tropics. You can see it in Central America and places like that. Typically, I'm not sure if it gets into Texas or not, but native to the tropics. This guy right here, I'm not going to say this one out loud. You've probably heard of that one too. And I think the monarchs will use it. It's not technically an Asclepias, which I don't know enough to go any deeper in that conversation. But native to South Africa. So what's the harm? We were invited to have a table. The Midlands Native Plant Society was invited to have a table at the South Carolina Master Gardeners Convention. Something Teresa Lott puts on. I'm sure most of y'all know who Teresa is. She did a great job with it. So Bob and I bring a table, and I bring 150 swamp milkweed plants that we're going to sell. And I go in to listen to the featured speaker. He's going to talk about monarchs. And he spends an hour talking about how monarchs are not in peril. As I'm sitting here filling out tags for all the plants that I'm about to sell, trying to sell here, he's saying, "Oh, it's not a big deal. Monarchs are fine. All the science says that the monarchs are fine." Okay, so as I'm seething, thinking, how am I going to unload all this milkweed that I'm trying to convince people to buy? These native, these master gardeners, I'm trying to convince them they need milkweed. The guys inside tell them they don't need it. So, but anyway, what he got around to is this last piece down here. Non-natives that linger in the off season raise OE. I'm not gonna even try to tell you what that says. I've been practicing it and I cannot, even if I have it typed out, I cannot pronounce it, okay? It's a protozoan parasite and may disrupt natural reproduction cycle. So OE is a protozoan parasite, okay? So if our native stuff dies back in the winter, right? And when it does, that OE protozoan parasite cannot persist it does not persist in the way that it does. If the plant hangs around, which this will, and this will, it'll hang around. And so it actually, yeah, it provides for the monarchs, but it makes them deathly ill and makes them and allows that OE disease to spread. So that's why the natives are more important. They're less aggressive, of course, but they know when to wake up and sleep. That's important. Our monarchs need, what is nature giving them? That's what they're looking for. So that's what we're trying to provide with the natives are plants that are programmed to peak at the right times. Okay. This last thing at the end may disrupt the natural reproduction cycle. I actually just recently stumbled upon this. There's some science that says that they go through several generations in a year. But if the milkweed's there all year long, they try to keep reproducing, and it messes up what is those natural four generations or whatever that we typically see over the course of the year. So is everybody convinced that native is, we can all go home? All right. August 25th is in my yard. Okay. We didn't have tomatoes up there, so y'all couldn't throw tomatoes at me. But this is non-native milkweed, right? This is the tropical stuff. It is beautiful, right? It's amazing. But it is not the stuff you want in your yard. And it's not just because I'm trying to sell you a native milkweed plant, okay? I'm not making any money off this stuff. I know what this guy is bringing. Clear wing is what I call them. I don't know the scientific name, but see all this stuff right here? Who has aphids on their milkweed? I mean, basically everybody, right? So these are oleander aphids. These are not native aphids. So don't feel bad squishing these suckers, okay? I don't know if ladybugs eat these guys or not, but there's no way they can keep up. I mean, they really do. And here are your tools right here. Okay, no chemicals, pinch, they just squish so easily you wouldn't believe it. And they're non-native, so you don't have to feel bad about it. But really, if you stay on top of them, you can manage them. If you let them get out of control, it really gets unwieldy. Okay, how are we doing? Everybody, any questions so far? I tend to just ramble. So
Here's one.
yeah.
They don't hung up on the guy seeing the monarchs on the risk.
Yeah, listen, I mean, it destroyed me. It really did. So this guy is a researcher at University of Georgia. You can go, he maintains a website. It's called monarchscience.org. If you want to go and see what he does, but he's doing statistical analysis. He's not a plant guy. He's not a butterfly guy. He is a statistician. And so what he's saying is that some of the anxiety, some of the urgency or whatever is based on poor science. So whether or not he's wrong or right or wrong, anyway, I still like seeing them in my yard. So whatever, I'm gonna keep doing it.
Carry on.
Yeah. Any other- I don't want to go into all that. Because I don't remember. I was so mad. I wasn't listening to most of. And really what bothered me, more than anything, you know, the guy was saying what he believed to be fact, which is great. But here is this room, and I mean, this is a ballroom full of people, right? Master gardeners. I don't know if y'all know this or not, but a very small percentage of master gardeners care about native plants. I'm sorry, Don. I mean, you know, and here is this opportunity for us to preach the gospel of what we think is good. And this guy is just blowing the place up. So anyway, anyway, we sold all the milkweed. We did. So, there was a success there, after all, but, anyway, any other questions, comments so far? We'll keep plowing.
I was given a milkweed, I don't even know what it is exactly, I thought it was an oleander when I got it, but, I think it's one of the, like, new tropical, or some variation of. It was a gift that I was like, well, what if I cut it down to the ground in the off season? Is that, I mean, or do I just need to dig it up and burn it? You know?
I mean, if you ask most people in this room, they're probably gonna say it's not worth it. You know, the swamp milkweed that I do is almost a perfect replacement for your.
Don't worry, I know I got plenty of people, but
Yeah.
I was just like, I was thinking, especially or too, like if there's other people who have things like that, I wonder if that would be helpful, but.
Yeah, I don't know, but, I will say the tropical milkweed reproduces on its own. So, you know, if you allow it to go to seed, it's going to pop up here, there, and you can control that, but what about when it gets to your neighbor's yard? So it is fairly aggressive stuff, yeah.
Definitely cutting it back is preferable.
Yes.
Yeah,
Cut it back
it's
and
already
then-
started growing back, and I
Yeah.
was like, manipulate, but I would, yeah.
Yeah.
Best, yeah, the best move is to replace it with something.
Yeah,
Yes. And also the cycle, the death cycle that our perennials go through, it also gets rid of the aphids. The aphids can persist over winter if they have something to eat. So, you know, you want that cleansing cycle for the purpose of getting rid of the aphids too. Just a few facts here, about 79 species of Asclepias are in the US. A lot of them are out west, that are not native to us. Great for that, you know, central flyway, you know, monarch flyway, great for there, but, a lot of them we don't have. About 19 species are native to South Carolina. There's a great, article, in an old newsletter, from the South Carolina Native Plant Society about all 19 of them, which is where I got that number, by the way. 10 species are native to Richland County. Anybody want to, John, you can answer that. Anybody want to guess on, common names on these? Amplexicaulis, that's a big word. Anybody know what that one is? Bob, I know you know. Last week, very good. Humistrata. Sandhills. Michoi. I think that's just me shows. Perennis, we talked about that one already. The aquatic one. Rubra, anybody know their Latin? Rubra, red. Tomentosa. That's a really neat one. I got a picture of it coming up. Tomentosa is tuba milkweed, which is a really neat one. Tuberosa, everybody knows tuberosa, right? Everybody knows tuberosa. That's your butterfly weed, the orange butterfly weed that's so persistent. If you go to a sandhill, a wild place, sandhills type stuff, you will see that one in great numbers. Variegata, we saw that one at the very beginning, the red ring. Verticillata, laurel milkweed. And verdiflora, which is green milkweed. So, if you live in Lexington County or somewhere else, I'm sorry, I didn't also do one for Lexington. So these are the ones that are native to us. We'll look down here. Notably absent incarnata and syriaca. You're like, these are the things that Clay's always hawking to me when we're having sales, right? You know, the incarnata is the swamp milkweed, the syriaca is the common milkweed, right? So why are we, trying to sell you that stuff? Well, before I answer that question, let's look at these pictures. So April 30th. You can see these guys, really no color, right? Green, petals where we usually see white or pink or something like that.
Is that in you?
I'm trying to make, I can't tell you. It's just a secret. No, I will. And this is another picture of it. This is a tomentosa, the tuba milkweed. It was actually at Watery Heritage Preserve. Y'all know where Watery Heritage Preserve is? On the Watery River, if you go out 378 Garner's Ferry Road, right before you get to the Watery River, it's on your left. Right? It's an amazing place for sand hills type stuff. It's a DNR property, Department of Natural Resources. So if they're not hunting out there, you can go out there. It's great. Got a great road network, got a great bluff that you can walk and see the Watery Heritage. So this is tomentosa, April 30th. So you can see that one is in blue, but a really neat one. Okay, so back to the question, why are we trying to sell you incarnata and Syria? Okay. So I don't know where I found this. Actually, I do, it's right here. But what works? All milkweed, right? All milkweed. But not all milkweed is made or seems to be as attractive to the monarchs. I've had people come to me and say, hey, I got my tuberosa butterfly weeds doing great. I get monarch caterpillars on there. It's great. Say, try this. Here, you can have this. Take this one. Swamp milkweed, monarchs never go back to the butterfly. They want that swamp milkweed. That's what they want. And that is borne out by these charts here. I don't read science. I can't get through, like academic articles. I'm a banker, right? I don't do that kind of stuff. But this is the meat of it, okay? So you can see average total egg counts per species. This is 2015, 2016, 2017. And try to not pay attention to the fact that they're all going down year over year. But you see these at the beginning, same names at the beginning. INC is incarnata. Look at that. SYR is what? Syriaca. And then we start getting into this is Solvatania and species which are not native to us. So you can see these guys, incarnata and Syriaca, incarnata, Syriaca. That's why we're trying to get these species out into the community. And I will tell you, this is purely based on my experience, no science behind this whatsoever. The perennis, which is native to us, also seems to be as good as these two species. That's totally based on my experience. So, yes. I'm glad you asked that. Because does everybody use Bonap? BONAP. BONAP. I forget what the name is. It's like the biota something. I can't remember. But what the website allows you to do is it allows you to see species by species where the species is known to be native. How cool is that? Not state by state, but county by county, where is the species known to be native. So this is Asclepias incarnata. We're right over here. we're pretty doggone close, right? If it's native to York County and Lawrence County, Greenville County, Spartanburg County, we're pretty doggone close. So it's kind of, trying to, decide what's more important to you. You're gonna be a purist on whether or not it's native to my county, or do you want to support the monarch population? I know where I'm gonna go every time on that. Now, some of these, going back to this guy right here, the Solvatania speciosa, hirtella. By the way, when I was here, did I mention, this is tuberosa down here. This is our butterfly weed way down here. So if you didn't believe me before, here's tuberosa all the way out here, all the way out here. You didn't believe me before, they prefer. But, I was another tangent, I'm so sorry. Some of these other species that we're seeing that are preferred are native over here. And that's when you have to start having that conversation. Is this appropriate for my yard? It grows in Texas and Oklahoma. Probably not so much. So you can see where incarnata is, real close to us over here. Native, known to be native. And here's Syriaca, similar, right down to Lawrence County, North County. Syriaca is a common milkweed. You ever go to the mountains and see this stuff? It's in the mountains. I mean, you will absolutely see it in the mountains. Start looking for it. Bailey and I were up there along stream banks and stuff. Oh man, all over the place. Huge stuff, huge. So be on the lookout next time. For the common milkweed. Okay. Another picture. April 5th. That's so good. And then I'm gonna ask. What's this? So what's it doing? Let's think about, and I'm trying to channel my mystery doctor here. So what's the nature here of the leaves? You see how close the leaves are? Would you say that they might be clasping? Yeah, of course, that's the way you would describe this, right? Clasping. So this is Amplexicalis, which is clasping milkweed. And we have found this one in the wild. This is kind of a top shot, so it's kind of weird, but you can see there's basically no stem to the leaf. The leaf comes right off of the main stem. And you can see, like I say, it's kind of weird. This is a seed sticking straight up. But we found this in Calhoun County on the roadside. It's also out in Lower Richland. Seen it out there growing in several properties in Lower Richland. June 25th. So we can skim through this quickly. What's the time looking like? Am I running along? A little bit. I went to do the master gardeners thing. And we're like, can you talk for like 20 minutes? Like, no, I cannot talk for 20 minutes. So anyway, you'll know that I'm a propagator. If you have any interest in propagation, native plant stuff, this is the book to do it. I got turned on to this by the upstate chapter of the Native Plant Society. They grow a ton of stuff. They have a legit operation in the upstate. They turned me on to this book. Great, it is really great. I've learned so much from this thing. But anyway, so maybe we can zoom through a little bit of this stuff. Talking about stratification and things like that. Yeah, do we want to talk about that? No, not really. Okay. That's okay. More pictures. Let's just get back to the everybody knows this one, right? Yeah. So this is butterfly weed. This is Asclepias tuberosa on May 25th. This is in my yard. It's one of those that I don't know about your experience with butterfly weed, but it kind of blooms on and off throughout the year. I haven't quite figured out exactly when it wants to bloom. It's kind of weird, but man, is it beautiful or what? We'll have some at the sales. April 13th. I'll work off a commission, obviously. Let's see, so this is more about seed starting, we don't need to talk about that, stratification. I was gonna try to teach the master garden or something, but, not so much. Okay, August 28th. So August 28th is near what holiday? Labor Day, right? So what did I say about Labor Day? That's when we start to see them, right? So what is this one? Swamp milkweed, this is incarnata. So it's blooming at just the right time, right? So what does that tell you? The plants know what to do if you put them in the right place. They know what to do at the right time. Another just kind of tip, if you have milkweed in your yard and you're like, where are all the monarchs? Think in terms of what else can I put here that is going to be showy and bring them in, when that Labor Day time rolls around. So think about what's gonna be blooming around Labor Day that I can put near my milkweed. So when they're 1,000 feet up, they'll see your beautiful flower garden. So think that way also when you're thinking about designing your bed. More propagation stuff, we'll skip that. Here's a couple of flats. Some of you, I don't know if you can recognize your plant that you bought from. That might be kind of hard, but yeah, this is the way I do it. So 72 plants at a time. And it's also really easy to water root. At least incarnata and perennis. If you want another one, you can cut it off, stick it in water, give it about a month, and it will start rooting out. Just do it before it flowers. After it flowers, it doesn't want to do that. But if first one that comes up in spring, cut it off, put it in water, the plant will be fine, it'll sprout again, and then you can have two instead of one. So let's see, more propagation stuff. Let's keep going, like seeds.
So the milkweed are okay with transplanting something else? Fine. They do okay with transplanting?
That is a great question. There's a lot of variability within the Asclepias genus as far as root structure goes. So a lot of them don't want to be transplanted. I don't know if any of y'all have grown some humus strata and had it for sale. And if any of y'all have gotten some from me, you'll remember it being about that tall. It's one of those that is going to have a big taproot and wants to be in its permanent location as soon as possible. The incarnata that I grow, and the syriaca and the perennis, they all seem to be better in a pot. Okay, in a pot. If you get it from us, we'll try to just get you the ones that are going to be fairly easy to transplant. But yeah, fair question. Yeah. Oh yeah, this thing collects seeds. If you see any of these, get some seeds for me. Get them to me, because I want them. Okay. All right, September 30th. So what's this? I know it's a monarch. Come on. What's the plant? What's the plant? Okay. Asclepias punctata? Is that you, Steve?
No.
Asclepias punctata? I mean, this is mountain mint. So, I'm sorry, Monarda. This is kind of a trick.
Not found.
Yeah, sorry about that. So August 23rd. See what's going on here. This monarch's laying an egg, actively laying an egg. These are the best pictures I've ever taken, folks. I know. It doesn't get any better than this for me, but and then you see September 9th. See How little that guy is there. Actually eat the little hairs underneath the leaves first, because they can't actually eat the leaf. All right. That's all I have. Last picture I have, I'm sorry, I don't have more pictures.
Sorry,
Those seem to be the showstopper for the pictures. So,
what
yeah.
was the picture where you had all of the phases?
I think that was in October, maybe like the beginning of October. October 6th. Yeah, that's a very good question. I was hoping nobody would ask that one. We did attempt to put some behind screen. I will say that they do not seem to be happy when they are confined. You know, you see all these monarch kits that people buy and stuff like this. They do not want to be caged. But we were having a problem that year with parasitic wasp. And it was really upsetting to watch. So we said, we're going to take a few. I had 4 or actually 6 plants in gallon containers that we put in an enclosure and put them on there. They weren't happy. It worked, but you could just tell that they were kind of lethargic and not happy. And maybe I'm reading way too much into it, like what's their mood here or something, I don't know, but I wouldn't recommend that you try to cage these, cage them, but that's just based on my personal experience, no science behind it. Yes, ma'am.
The sedation on the folder. For their things that stop. The adults really didn't need them, because they need real things to talk about it. I've seen.
Yeah, so where's my slide that says I'm not an expert? I'm not an expert, but I will say this, I think that they're most vulnerable when they're doing this right here. When they haven't, before they have that hard chrysalis shell on them, that's when the parasitic wasp will get them. Because when they get to this point, they're not moving. They're completely frozen up, and even if a wasp comes by and stings them, there's nothing they can do. It's too late for them. So I think this is probably the most vulnerable stage. But the hard part is that even if they get stung by that parrot, not stung, I guess, but yeah, the egg is implanted or whatever in the caterpillar, they'll still go on to look like this. And you don't know it. So you're proud of your little green chrysalis, and then you start seeing it getting ugly, little strings start kind of dropping out of it, and that's when you know that it's not going to be a good end for that one. But yeah, sorry, Aunt Malin, I don't know all about the predation. I'm sorry. Okay, I'll study up. Any other questions or comments?
Be sharing that through email.
I can. We're selling copies for $5. I'm happy to. Sure, yeah. Any other, hey, John, yeah.
Just a fun fact, but we were talking about Asclepias syriaca. And it's got a mostly northern distribution. And it does get into South Carolina. And it's got this funny name, syriaca. And some people think, well, it must have come from Syria. Well, that's what Linnaeus did, but he made a mistake. It came from.
So did he completely mistake it for another plant, John?
Yeah, I'm not an expert.
Okay. But that is a really neat one to see up in the mountains in summer. It's fairly prevalent. I think we're in the New River Gorge type area, and it's a neat one.
Yeah, curiously too, you were saying you don't get, you mostly get caterpillars in the fall. I get spring caterpillars on the Syriacas when it's young and tender,
Okay,
and then I get on the incarnate in the fall.
Yeah. And the perennis too, the aquatic will bloom in the spring too. We've seen them on our aquatic.
There's a population of monarchs that overwinter on our coast. What are they eating in the wintertime?
I mean, I think they're nectaring mostly during the winter, but we were actually at Bulls Island Sunday. And saw one at Bulls Island Sunday, so right off of Allendale. So we've seen them in Hilton Head. I think there's definitely, and I don't know if that's always been the case, Doug, but it's certainly the case now that there is a resident population along the coastal area that overwinters, never leaves. Yeah.
They might not be going through the reproductive cycle at that point, so they don't.
So they're only
necessarily
adults?
need
I think so.
milk.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
I've got a question,
Okay.
and it's based on my observations of growing climbing milkweeds
Hmm.
in the backyard, and some of them are pretty easy to grow. But I haven't seen butterflies showing any interest, so I wonder if butterflies come into the Gonalobus kind of thing.
That's the genus.
Climbing.
Yeah, I don't know. Don't know about that. Is it native to us? It is native to us? Speak up, Steve, come on.
Well, I'm trying to ask you, because I grow one. but
Okay.
It's angle pot.
And that's.
Okay.
An angle pot is a climbing milkweed. I've never seen a monarch or any caterpillar eating the leaves, but is it red spotted purple? Does that make, okay?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, and they're a very uncommon butterfly, and they're not a nectar feeder necessarily. They're more of a puddler and eating debris, the detritus, but they come to the flowers.
Okay.
It's a great plant. I'll give you some.
Yeah, I'd love
It's got the coolest seed pod in the world.
Okay. Is it a similar seed pod to an Asclepias or?
About this big, and it literally is either a 4 or 5 sided. It starts out big and then comes down to an angle.
Okay,
And it's a beautiful flowers.
okay.
When you're wild collecting seeds, are you trying to time that? Or are you often putting little bags of rubber bands or something around the pods?
So when the few times I've collected, I identify it usually at some point, and when I think it's about to open up, I mean, especially with milkweed, when those pods open up, they're gone within a day. I mean, those things, they're the real feathery, that stuff that, what, I don't know if there's what's it? Happis, thank you.
No.
No?
That's only in the sunflower.
Okay, all right.
Certainly.
The fluffy stuff.
It's called a coma.
Coma, okay, all right. But those, the seeds are gone. So to answer your question, once I know where it is, I'm there all the time.
And what are you looking for are you looking to actually see it start to open? Or are you, what's your secret on?
With a milkweed pod, you want it to start turning brown. You shouldn't have to exert any effort to open it. You should be able to just kind of, with the weight of your thumb, touch on it, and when it comes open on the weight of your thumb, that's when it's ready.
And you have a rubber band? on it?
Bob has done, he's. Have you touched rubber band?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you can certainly. Yeah, yeah. Any other questions, comments, thoughts? No? Okay. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Do you need this for the business meeting at all?
Yep, so can we load treasurer's report?
I don't know, can we?
Billy, he's got him some truck keys. Bills.
I can put it, I got a thing for something.
Okay, it's just.
All right, while we get the treasurer's
Yeah,
report loaded,
Yeah, that'd be great.
while we get the treasurer's report, I've got one or two little pieces of business left, before I hand it over. I was talking to y'all a little bit earlier about how much we've grown over the last year. We've really had a tremendous year. We had, We hosted the statewide annual meeting this year for the first time in a long, long time. I think Betsy was around for when we did this once before. But it's been a while since we've done that. And some of the folks here with us were there as part of that presentation. We had an exciting project where we put in a demonstration garden at Saluda Riverwalk. That was a kind of a culmination of a project that got started the year before when Trish German noticed that Dominion's list of recommended plants for planting under power lines included some non-natives and some things that really got much larger than what they were recommending that you should be planting under power lines. Trish took the initiative to contact some folks there and see if they would be open to receiving some advice maybe on how they might improve this list. We were very pleased to learn that they were very receptive. And so they have now completely revised that list of plants that now includes all non-native and appropriate height plants. And then in that process, Trish learned about a grant that was available. We applied for the grant and received it and were able to use those funds to put in a demonstration garden out there under power lines so we could show people exactly what Dominion was trying to get across to them, and we could promote the use of natives in the community. We've had a couple of great plant sales this year. We've also had some milkweed events and some other things. But one thing that I couldn't help but notice was, and I think everybody in the organization couldn't help but notice, but how many of the things we did this year, Trish was at the center of. And so there wasn't even any discussion. Trish was unanimously recognized as our volunteer of the year. We won't. You don't have to say anything, but we do want to give you just a little appreciation. This is something that you can enjoy. You can enjoy a little later. And I know you have all your stuff together, but sometimes you still need a bag to keep it in, so.
It really is a matter of being able to nag and depend on absolutely wonderful people. Anne-Marie Johnson did the absolute bulk of the work on the list for Dominion. She just took it and she put in cultural information and made it make sense. And so any of you who look on Dominion's website, thank Anne-Marie. Thank you.
This list that we're helping and like Dominion Energy with.
Right.
Will that be used in other locations?
We have talked with energy companies in other parts of the state, and they have been receptive to considering that. And some of them had already moved in that direction themselves. So we were very pleased to see that that people are becoming more aware of using native plants. And
Actually, if we can fine tune that just a little bit.
yeah.
Down on Trenum where they built that Dominion facility. And they bulldozed it early in 2023.
Yeah.
They're in there working now. Do you have any idea what they're doing?
I don't, they're not without sin. They're still that their primary business is, getting energy to people and doing it in the most efficient and economic way they can. We were, like I said, pleased that they were as receptive to hearing what we had to say as they were. But yeah, there's still a lot to do. Several of us have had experiences with the people coming in, hacking and spraying, around power lines that if you have an easement through your yard. I've started planting federally endangered species in my yard, so they try to dissuade them from spraying in my yard, but But it's, yeah, it's an ongoing challenge. But like I said, we did see some hope in that they were receptive to working with us and that, that gives us some hope that maybe there will be opportunities to do other things in the future. One other piece of business I'd like to take care of before we move to the treasurer's report and I end my tenure. So I'd like to introduce our new slate of officers. The way our bylaws work, we put out we have a nominating committee. This year it was led by Bill McCullough. They come up with a slate of nominees for the offices for the board, and we publish that to our membership. If there are no, and we invite additional nominations. If there are no additional nominations by the 1st of December, then that slate becomes the official officers for the year. So what we're doing tonight is mainly recognize them. I'd like to start with Don McInnes. Don is our president for the term coming up. Andrew Mellinson in the back of the room here is vice president. Kathy Perry, secretary. Diane Perdue-Shute is our treasurer. Diane, can everybody see Diane back there? And I think that's our officers, and then the board will fill the chairmanship roles of the various committees. I would like to say once again, we do have committee sign-up sheets in the back, so please take care of those. And then I put some little Post-it notes on the wall back there for presenters, field trips, programs. If you have thoughts or ideas of places that you would like to go, things that you would like to learn, if you know of interesting presenters that others in the organization might like to hear from, please let us know. Put that information out there. We want to hear what it is that you want to hear. So that we can help provide that.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Take over.
Now, Phil wished he could be here. Phil went to Pompeii, Italy this past year. And Gail Wagner is also a member of the Native Plant Society, and she's a member of the Explorers Club that he's a member of. And they asked him to talk about Pompeii. That's why he couldn't come here today, because he really wanted to be here. And Phil has done a great job, as you'll see as we go next slide. Again. So when he started as treasurer, our treasurer had resigned and we didn't have a treasurer. We had about 60 members and now we have over 200. We don't have any idea how much money we had. The state treasurer had died in office. And nobody had any idea how much any chapter had. We knew that the upstate was rich, the low country was pretty rich, and we were poor. And all the money we got was just from dues. I think it goes split 60-40 between the state and the chapter. So now we've gone from roughly $5,000 to $45,000. And it's basically because of the plant sales, selling the merchandise, and we still get the dues. We had no mechanisms for keeping track of anything. We had a little box with some petty cash in it, and that was it. If somebody actually had some expenses, we had to submit a request to the state and they would write us a check. Now we actually have our own little sub-bank account. And with Bill, with the plant sales, has gotten to Square. And so now we can use the Square and we have all kinds of, he's really keen on reconciliation, making sure everything balances. Now we have a credit card and a debit card. We had nothing before. And we didn't have the ability to do anything. So now we're in pretty good shape of being independent a bit from the state. And these are some of the things that he was in the process of trying to firm. There was sometimes when we have a plant sales, we charge vendors, sometimes we don't. And he was trying to get it to kind of have a policy that's consistent. Other stuff. He tried to explain it to me, but I didn't. I turned off my brain, but you know, we were before just buying plants for ourselves, now we're kind of piggybacking with other neighborhood, like Rosewood Rangers and Arboretum, Whitehall. And so there was problems with, he didn't know why people got paid us what we got and why some of the bills are higher. So anyway, that's just something that he's been trying to figure out. He couldn't reconcile it, so he doesn't, he doesn't know what to do. And one thing he has been trying to do is get a budget. And, the past president hasn't no budget, but other groups like the plant sale and maybe the, publicity programs, they need to have a budget, and he's been trying to get a budget established so we can, project what we'll be spending, so we'll know what we need for the next year. And so he wanted to give credit. He was really happy that he found somebody to take his place. Diane Pritchard was replacing him, and he'll still be working with her until she gets established, but these are her credentials. You election county master garden? State? And the master naturalist, and I think that's all he wanted to make it really brief, because I know Bob wants to get this over with. So we can have the new officers take place. So I think that's all he has. That's it. Thanks.
You mean filibuster?
I got it. Huh?
We have to vote on that, pass it?
No.
No, okay, so.
Officers, you're it.
Thank you for putting your trust in me for this next year. I'm amazed at the turnout tonight. This is about twice as many as we've had for any other event, other than the plant sale, which lasts for hours and hours, not just a couple hours in the evening. But I do want to reiterate what Bob has said, that the organization is only as good as its parts, and we need lots of parts working together. So please sign up and volunteer your time and put a little effort into making this organization even better than it's been. Thank you.
And there's food and drink in the
Good job.
All right, thank you.
That's it, folks.
Where did you find it?
On that website.
That's cool.
Yeah. Be happy to share it with you if you
Yeah,
ever
I'd
want
love to see, I'd love to look at that. That's amazing. I mean, it's exactly what you've seen.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.